From Ozarks First, you're watching KOLR 10 News at 10.
First tonight, a mother from Stratford is trying to piece together what happened leading up to the death of her nearly 2-year-old daughter.
Daisy Pedraza was working the night of June 10th when her daughter Penelope was rushed to a hospital where she died. KOLR 10's Parker Padgett is live in Springfield tonight after reaching out and talking to police about this investigation.
Yeah, police have confirmed that they are investigating this, but can't comment as to what they found so far. Pedraza tells me that doctors have told her that Penelope wasn't suffering from pneumonia, RSV, or any particular illness. She tells me she just wants to know what happened.
That was my baby.
Daisy Pedraza is speaking up for her daughter Penelope.
She wanted to be friends with everybody. She loved everybody. She cared about everybody that she met.
On June 10th, police responded to a home where Penelope was struggling to breathe. A short time later, she died.
It makes me angry. It makes me sad for my daughter because I feel like, especially right now, that's like the bare minimum that should be done.
Pedraza's anger has grown over time as she finds herself asking more questions than there are answers.
I've gotten some results back from Cox, like tests that they ran on her. She didn't have pneumonia, she didn't have RSV, she didn't have any strain of the cold, any strain of the flu, nothing. She had bruises on her face, like on her cheek right here, kind of going down towards her mouth, and then another, like a couple other just spots on the other side.
She says there's more.
They found, they were calling it large solid foreign objects in both lobes of her lower lungs on both sides. The coroner couldn't identify what it was.
While Pedraza was at work, she says Penelope was in the care of family on her father's side.
I haven't gotten any answers from either of the people that had them.
Posts on social media in support have amassed tens of thousands of shares.
I didn't realize, how many people would come out and support and be a voice for Penelope.
A GoFundMe has been set up to help the family with funeral expenses. Reporting live in Springfield, Parker Padgett, Ozarks First.
All right, now our first look at weather at 10. We were knocking on the door of 90 degrees today on the first official day of summer. Jamie Warner is detailing what's in store for day 2 of summer and beyond.
Yeah, day 2, our first full day of summer on Thursday, and it looks a lot like today. I think we're going to find a quiet day, a mostly clear day, and a day where temperatures are going to fall just short of 90 in most areas. Outside right now, a lot of high cloudiness over southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas. That's all compliments of basically the leftover storm tops from a complex of storms that faded away across Kansas. We're just seeing the residuals off of that. Temperatures at this hour falling into the mid to upper 70s, currently 78 in Springfield, and our Thursday forecast. That's not too bad and very similar to today. It looks like sunny skies for the morning hours. I think long about early to mid-afternoon, we're going to bubble up a few clouds across the area, but I think the one difference today versus tomorrow will be today we saw some spotty showers along and east of Highway 63. I don't think the atmosphere is looking real supportive of that tomorrow, so I expect a dry day on Thursday, a dry day on Friday. Rain chances are returning this upcoming weekend. I'll have more on that and the heat that will come with it in your forecast in just a bit. Bailey?
All right, thanks, Jamie. New at 10, in an effort to help Springfield's small businesses, today the Chamber of Commerce held an event centered around the impact that marijuana could have in the workplace.
KOLR 10 spoke with a few locally owned businesses in downtown who tell us they don't feel compelled to change their policies about marijuana. Rules about cannabis use have been debated since the legalization in February. The event today was aimed at helping local businesses navigate the changes and see what resources are available.
The primary concern around marijuana for employers right now is that the protection that the law provides is employees cannot be under the influence of marijuana while they are in the workplace. We're helping to educate employers on kind of the status of marijuana in the workplace, as well as what are some of the legal concerns and practical concerns.
There is at least one resource employers can use for now. It's known as reasonable suspicion training. A follow-up now to an investigation launched in March after women said they had their drinks spiked at a downtown Springfield bar.
Police say officers investigated 5 reports from women who went to Inner Circle Vodka Bar and found no evidence to prove they were drugged.
I think having access to surveillance video can confirm, what took place during the incident, or what the individuals were doing, or the victim was involved in during that night.
The police report says the bar was busy and the women were difficult to track on video, but the footage did show no evidence of women's drinks being spiked. In one case, a woman went to the hospital to get her blood tested after she suspected she had been drugged. The test came back negative for GHB and other roofies. We spoke with one of the women today who says she still believes she was drugged.
I feel like, I tried my best. I tried to bring awareness. I tried to convince multiple girls to make cases. I tried to speak to Springfield PD, but I don't know what to do anymore.
In a statement, Inner Circle says the findings of the investigation are reassuring, but they're still taking precautions to keep patrons safe, like adding lids to drinks, increasing security camera coverage, and getting a new screening machine.
New information about the shooting death of a man in South Springfield last week. Court documents show the suspected shooter was arrested after revealing information to officers that police hadn't released to the public. Officers were questioning 18-year-old Peyton Lafferty about the death of Jason Walker after finding a pill bottle with his name on it at the scene. Police say Lafferty referred to the incident as a shooting, which was only known to police and the victim's family at the time. The teen then told investigators Walker had pulled a gun on him, and the two struggled before it went off. Lafferty is now charged with second-degree murder.
A mom in Morgan County called 911 after she found surveillance video of her house guest inappropriately touching her 10-year-old daughter. 24-year-old KOLR Huff is now in jail, charged with sodomy after the video shows him touching himself while touching the child's legs and feet. The child told police there were multiple incidents and that the child was told not to tell anyone or else. Huff, who is from Stover, is scheduled for a hearing next Wednesday. Last night, the Nixa school board decided discussed the fate of 7 books. They talked about banning them from their libraries. The books included the graphic novel version of The Handmaid's Tale, Something Happened in Our Town, Unpregnant, and Blankets. The main book up for discussion was the Pulitzer Prize winner Mouse, a graphic novel about the Holocaust. The board ultimately decided to keep Mouse on the shelves. According to across Missouri, there have been nearly 300 books banned from schools under a new law that made it illegal for schools to provide sexually explicit material for students.
Nixa residents won't have a way to pay their utility bills for the next few days as the city upgrades its online payment portal. The site will be down beginning tonight and running through Monday. The city says no one will be charged late fees. Staff say the upgrade will make it easier for people to pay their bills. New 24/7 payment kiosks are also being set up around Nixa where people can pay with cash, check, or card.
For decades, Missouri voters have gone to the polls to vote in a presidential preference primary, but not anymore. Last year, the General Assembly voted to do away with it and move to a caucus system instead. Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft says he's okay with the change because the primaries were only for show anyway.
So what has really been happening is we've had a primary where the voters have voted, and then the parties have actually gone and decided who the delegates would be, and there was no legal requirement that the people's votes make the difference as to who the delegates are.
Now, instead of heading to the polls every 4 years to vote in a primary race, caucuses will get to decide how delegates are chosen. Both the chairs of the Missouri Republican Party and the Democratic Party have said they're in favor of reinstating the primary. Caucuses will be held next summer.
In Branson today, a groundbreaking for a $13 million project downtown. The city has hired a team to build a flood control wall around the Compton Drive wastewater treatment facility. That wall will surround the perimeter of the plant, creating a flood barrier to ensure the plant's ability to continue processing 80% of Branson's overall sewage.
Been waiting for several years to get this project underway ever since the first floods that took place back in 2010, 11, and 12 area. Our closest year during the flood events was in 2015, and on the west berm, it came within inches of overtopping the berm.
The project calls for a half-mile barrier wall and several rain dewatering wells to prevent soil saturation. Construction should be completed by September of next year. Still to come at 10, more international rescue vessels are joining the search for a sub lost in the North Atlantic. What's being done with time seemingly running out?
And while it was warm again today with a high of 89 in Springfield, we're still just knocking on the door. I think we're going to finally answer that call this coming weekend as a hotter air mass builds into the area. Just how warm, that's in your forecast next.
You're watching KOLR 10 News, Ozarks First, with Steve Savard, Bailey Stroll, weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner, and sports with Dan Lucy. This is KOLR 10 News at 10.